The internet is how we eat, it is how we travel, it is how we make money, it is a lifestyle. In this day and era, the internet is a basic need. And in this video, I'll be comparing two of the biggest fiber internet service providers in Uganda. So, the internet community locally has a lot of users that will subscribe to something for just one day and go around declaring how good or bad that service might be. For the past 90 days, here at the studio, we've been subscribed to both Canalbox and Mtn Fibre. So after subscribing to both of these services for over 90 days, this is the most honest and extensive comparison you will find on the internet today. From connection, how it works, cost, speed, but most importantly, reliability. If someone is paying for a premium, we expect that they are going an extra mile to pay for that price because they want something reliable. Okay, just to give you a brief history, in October 2020, Mtn launched the Mtn Fibre, and since then they have been scaling the infrastructure of the fiber internet from Kampala, going outside Kampala to other districts around the country. And 3 years later, Canalbox came in the picture, and they also started to scale their infrastructure around the country. And this brought a lot of competition on Mtn. When Mtn had just started this whole Wakanet thing, it was not unlimited. They had what we call fair usage policy, which still applies on other Wakanet plans, which are not the fiber plan. So fair usage policy is simply what we call data capping. So you're given a limit of what you're supposed to use at the speed you pay for or at the bandwidth that you pay for. Let's say you paid for 10 Mbps. So you're limited to, let's say, 200 GB a month. So you're limited to, let's say, 200 GB a month, and that's the speed, that's the data you can use that speed at. If you go beyond that, the speed will go down, and that's what we call fair usage policy. It was on Mtn Fibre until Canalbox put a lot of competition on Mtn, so they had to scrap off the data capping. So compared to other internet plans, are these plans really unlimited? Yes, they're unlimited. Both Canal and Mtn do not have data capping. It's totally unlimited internet. From the start of the month, when you pay, to the end of the month, you'll have an equal share of what you pay for. For starters, how do you subscribe? For Mtn, you just pay 130,000 on Mtn mobile money. And for Canalbox, you make a physical payment in cash, and you will be given a receipt, a physical receipt by their team. You just find the number on their polls. The number is everywhere. So how long does it take to get connected after payment? For Mtn, it took just a day. I paid today, and the following day the team came, we were connected, and the internet was running there and then. For Canalbox, it was a different story, a totally whole different story. From the time of payment to the time of connection, it was about a whole week. They kept coming, they kept giving me issues, and it was not just me. Even the people I recommended to get Canalbox, it was the same issue. After payment, it took about a week to get connected. And not just that, after that week of getting connected, for the internet to get running, it took another whole week to get the internet running. I don't know if it's still the same story. Maybe Canalbox, they've fixed their issues in terms of connection. So that was my experience getting connected. That is about 5 months back. For now, maybe Canalbox, they have upped their game, and the connection time is maybe a day or two, but for my experience, that's what I got. So what comes in the box? The box looks like this. The Mtn box is slightly smaller. In this box, you get your router that connects you to the Wi-Fi. The router also has ports, cable ports for LAN connection. Here you get a router, you get the manuals of the router. You also get one network cable, a short one, just like 1 meter. How is the setup? I'll be showing you the setup here, but you just get a router, and the router is connected using a cable from the pole. You can change the password of the router. If you don't know how to do that, when the team comes, you can tell them to change the password to your preferred password. In another video, I'll also be talking about how to change the password on both devices, the one of Canal and the one of MTN. And someone was asking, do you need power to get the whole thing running? Yes, you need power, but if your power is off, you have options. You can either run this router on a battery or a small battery or any other alternative power source. They can work so well with any other alternative source and they don't use a lot of power. So someone also asked about multiple connections. Yes, both of these routers, the one of Canalbox and the one of MTN, will give you up to about 32 users that can connect at a single time. But this can also go beyond that because the router still has 4 ports to connect a network cable. So you can have some devices connected with a cable and others connected wirelessly. The routers are 2G frequency and 5G frequency. And according to my experience on both routers, we have about 15 devices here. Smart TV, computers, smartphones, neighbors, blah, blah. And we've never gotten speed issues, even with all those users connected. I don't think users can be a limitation for speed when it comes to this internet. Even when you have about 25, you will not feel that the internet is overloaded and the speed is going down. No, because you have a huge pipe coming in. So when it comes to speed, MTN gives you 60 Mbps for their entry plan, and Canalbox gives you 50 Mbps for their entry plan. I think these are almost the same, but they're not. I'm sure most of you, the thing you've been waiting for in this video is to compare the speed. But before we go ahead and compare the speed, I'm going to talk about bandwidth. That is exactly what you pay for, the 60 Mbps and the 50 Mbps. What is bandwidth? And explaining this, I'm going to be talking about 3 things: megabits, megabytes, and latency, to give you a better understanding of what you pay for. Many of you confuse bandwidth for speed. No, it is not speed. So bandwidth is actually the size, not the speed at which you get your internet. So I'm going to be explaining this better so that you understand what you pay for. So to help you understand better how you consume your internet and how you receive it, I'm going to be using 3 things: megabits, megabytes, and latency. Megabytes will mostly be in storage devices and files, while megabits will be network file transfer. So megabytes, I described it as the amount of digital information in a file or storage device. So megabytes, that's the measure of the storage of this storage device or the files on it. Whereas megabits are the measure of the maximum amount of data that can be transferred over a network. When network companies advertise 10 megabits per second, that's not speed. That's actually what we call bandwidth, but it's not speed. It's the capacity that you're having coming in into your router. So to differentiate megabytes and megabits, you can, I think you hear the pronunciation: megabytes, bytes, and bits. And to understand this first, when you find on a network device like this, they will use a small b. Even when you look on the billboards and web pages of telecom companies, when they're writing megabits referring to internet capacity, they write it with a small b, like you see this one here. And it's the same thing here. When we are referring to storage devices like this one, even when you read here, there is MB with a capital B. Sometimes you will find writings on these devices telling you it can write maybe 2,400 megabytes per second, or it can read. So these are also examples of storage devices, and this is a good example. On this card, there is writing speeds and reading speeds. I'll give you a close-up of this card. This is a card that I put in my camera to record. The writing speeds are 300 MBs per second, and the MBs is with a capital B. The writing speed is 250 MBs per second with a capital B. When we are referring to storage devices or file sizes, we use a capital B. But when it comes to transfer, network transfer, we use a small b. So that's the other difference between megabytes and megabits. So this next illustration down here is to show you and justify that 50 Mbps or 60 Mbps is not actually the speed of your internet, but rather the size that you're getting in your router. Take for example, if this was someone having 100 Mbps, then this was someone with let's say 50 Mbps. The rate at which these pipes are pouring in is the same. The speed at which the water is coming out is the same. But the width of each of these pipes is different. So this pipe will be like pouring in more water, but the speed at which they are pouring in is the same. So it will literally fill this bucket faster because it has a bigger size coming in. This pipe can also fill the bucket, but it will take a longer time because the radius of its openings is smaller. So when someone has 100 megabits per second and the other has 50, the one of 100 will seem to have faster internet because they have a diameter or a radius that is twice bigger than that of 50 Mbps. So literally it will seem faster, but the speed might be the same. What is actually the speed is latency. Latency is technically the speed of your internet. And to explain latency is the delay or time it takes for information to come from one computer to another over a network. So for one file to come from one computer to another, that's the rate at which that file is transferred from one computer to another. That is the latency. And this is the most important thing when it comes to the speed of your internet. Let's say I'm speaking on a video call. The time it takes for my voice to reach the other person, or the other person to respond to me, that is the latency. And to understand latency better, I think you see it mostly on video calls, or let's say TV, broadcast TV, when one person is in the studio and the other person is in the field, and the person in the studio is speaking back to the other person, and the other person there's a delay for the other person to hear the information. So that is latency. The lower the latency of your internet, the faster it will be. So latency is very important, especially to people that use internet for video calls, gaming, and things to do with information that comes back and forth, and even uploads. So you should care more about the latency than bandwidth. So latency is literally the time it takes for you to get a response over your internet. This becomes very important. Let's say even to get search results, the time it takes for the information to reach the servers and give you back the search page, search results, that is latency. And one would ask, who needs a bigger bandwidth? I would say for these both of these packages, the one of Canalbox and MTN, the starting bandwidth is okay for most of the users, even for small, medium enterprises, small companies. It is so fine. Unless you have 100 devices plus, that's when I would advise you go for a higher plan than the entry plans. But the more the bandwidth goes up, I would advise that if you were to go for that, it's when you have many devices that want to consume a lot of internet at the same time. But for starters, what MTN and Canal give in the first package is enough. According to my internet test, even with 32 users, the internet speed still stays good because they have a bigger pipe coming in, so it can pour into so many devices and still have a constant speed. So the higher the bandwidth, the smoother your internet will be, and the lower the latency, the faster your internet will seem, but the higher the price as well. That's the best explanation I can give for you to understand how you consume your internet. Moving forward, let's do the speed test. And to give you a real life example of how fast this internet is, I did 3 tests: an upload test, a download test, and a video call test. And these were my results after these tests. So as you can see, I'm connected on Ethernet. My Wi-Fi is off, The Wi-Fi is switched off and I'm connected using a cable on Ethernet, and I'm going to test the speed of my internet while connected on a cable. When I run the test here, you can see the connection seems to be very stable. That is the download speed, 60, around 56 actually. Then the upload speed is also good. It's going beyond 30, and you can see or not on Wi-Fi, on Ethernet. And those are the results I got. And let me run the test again. Let me run the test one more time to see whether this is genuine. You can see it is still stable, going beyond 60. And on average, I'm expecting it to be 59, somewhere 58. Yes, we are getting 60 this time. We are getting 60 download speed, and upload is also good. We're going beyond 20. So average, that is, I'll combine all this and get an average. I did the test multiple times at 3 different times of the day, during the night, the morning, and the afternoon. And this is another device. This is another computer as well. I have multiple phones here. This is another device as well. There are people in other rooms that are connected. These are the devices, the other devices. As you can see, the speed is also pretty good, even on these other devices. I also have a smart TV here, and it's getting 47 download. I also have another laptop here. I have 2 more laptops here as well. In total, I have about 30 something devices connected to this network right now. Yes, because on this, as you can see, I have an access point that is outside, and it has more 17 devices that are connected and are active right now. That is the access point. So the devices here and the devices on this access point are all on this network, and the speed is okay. And when you go to Canal, it is also a stable connection. This is Canal on cable. Yes, I'm getting 50. It is constant speed. Then when I go to wireless connection, here on this is a smart TV, I'm getting 39. So the speed will depend on the distance from the router on Wi-Fi and the frequency which you're connecting to. You can see on the phone it is 49. So Canal is also stable. It's keeping the 50. You're around 50, 49 around there. So which is good. And to do the upload test, I zipped this file. The file is 5 point something GB. It is over 5 GB. I zipped it and created this folder on Google Drive, and I uploaded it. When immediately I started the upload, I started a timer, and by the end of the upload here, I'm going to show the results of this entire process. Then after uploading, I downloaded the same file using both of the networks. I did the test on Canal and I did the test on MTN as well, and these were the results. For the connection, you can see the speed average on MTN when I'm on fiber, and the download on Wi-Fi is also here. The download and upload on a wired connection. There you go. So those are my results. I cannot conclude this video without talking about customer support. This is very important, especially to someone that has decided to pay a premium for internet. Now, you might experience so many issues while using your internet, and you would want to contact your service provider. MTN has always been swift. Any issue that comes up, they respond and they are there to solve it there and then. Canalbox, on the contrary, it's very hard to get hold of them, and even when you do, their customer support team, it's like they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they have improved that over time, but according to my experience, all the times I contacted them, these people seem like they don't know what they're doing, and they even talk like they don't work for the company. But MTN was so good on that. Canal, according to my experience, the customer support was so dull and so, I don't know what to call it. It was not satisfactory. So if Canal is watching this, maybe they will improve that. I don't know how you experience the Canal support team. You can tell me that in the comment section. So there are people that are reselling this internet as Wi-Fi, probably to your neighbors and people around you, especially in trading center. If this video gets to a good mileage, I'll come back and talk about this whole Wi-Fi business because I do it. But before you go ahead and resell this internet as Wi-Fi business, in the terms and conditions, when you're subscribing to this plan, especially Wakanet, I've not read that of Canalbox, but here for Wakanet, when you're subscribing, many of you don't read these terms and conditions. On the first page, it says you shall not use for resale, redistribution to any other person or entity. MTN clearly states that, but I'm sure if you want to resell the internet, they have bigger plans with a bigger bandwidth data for resale. This is just for a basic person, home consumption and small businesses, and they don't expect you to be reselling it. If anything happens in your Wi-Fi business, don't say I didn't tell you, because this is clearly stated in the terms and conditions. But if this video gets to good mileage, I'll come and talk about the whole Wi-Fi reselling business using these access points. Then someone asked me to also talk about Starlink. So countries like Rwanda, Kenya, Nigeria, and so many other African countries now have Starlink. Starlink have put in their request to be service providers in Uganda. If that comes true, we shall be back here to talk about Starlink. And I think it's good that Starlink is also coming in the picture, because when the competition goes up, I'm sure these internet plans will also go down. The prices will somehow go down. Who knows, 3 years from now, we might be paying for Wakanet at just 60,000. So if Starlink comes in the picture, we shall be back here, make a review about it, compare it to fiber, compare it to 5G, and see how do we get this basic need running. So there you have it. That's my honest review about these two fiber internet service providers. And I hope this has been a very helpful review and buying guide. Until next time, we'll link up on this channel.